When Storage Wars first hit television, it quickly became a guilty pleasure for millions of viewers who loved watching abandoned storage lockers turn into treasure troves or heartbreaking disappointments. And at the center of the chaos was one man who stood out above the rest: Dave Hester. Nicknamed the Mogul, Dave was the bidder everyone loved to hate, with his loud personality, trademark YUUUP catchphrase, and cutthroat tactics that made him one of the most polarizing figures in the series. From the very beginning, industry insiders, producers, and even some cast members warned fans that Hester was not just a character for television. He was the real deal when it came to being ruthless, competitive, and at times impossible to work with. Yet viewers dismissed those warnings, thinking it was all just part of the show's entertainment value, never realizing how much tension he created behind the scenes. As the episodes went on, it became clear that Dave wasn't just another bidder. He was a storm waiting to erupt. His aggressive nature, refusal to back down, and constant clashes with fellow cast members like Daryl Sheets and Jared Schultz turned the bidding floor into a battlefield. And while fans enjoyed the drama, many of his co-stars grew to despise him. The truth is that Dave Hester often blurred the line between performance and reality, and his arrogance made it nearly impossible for others to coexist peacefully with him. The drama eventually spilled over into lawsuits when Hester accused the producers of staging parts of the show, claiming that lockers were being planted with valuable items to boost ratings. His allegations shocked fans, raising questions about the authenticity of the series, but they also reinforced the warnings people had been giving all along. Dave was a man who played by his own rules, no matter who got hurt in the process. Even though he left and returned to the show at different points, his presence always brought tension and conflict. And while this made for compelling television, it also left behind a trail of bitterness among those who had to work with him. Fans who once dismissed the warnings about Dave began to see the truth. The man who shouted "YUUUP" was not just a TV character, but someone whose behavior genuinely upset those around him. Looking back now, it's easy to admit that people were right to warn us. Dave Hester wasn't just competitive, he was combative, stubborn, and unapologetically abrasive. And while that made him unforgettable in the world of reality television, it also made him one of the most controversial figures the genre has ever produced. The sad irony is that his very personality, the one that alienated so many people, is also what made Storage Wars such a phenomenon. And without him, the show would never have had the same edge. In the end, the warnings were clear, but fans didn't want to listen because watching Dave Hester was like watching a storm. You knew it could cause damage, but you couldn't look away. Now, years later, his legacy on Storage Wars remains divided. Some admire his business acumen and larger-than-life presence, while others remember him as the villain who made everyone's life harder. But one thing is certain: we were warned about Dave Hester, and we ignored it, only to realize too late that the warnings were absolutely true.